Good evening, everyone. It's the Knitty Professor here to talk to you about knitting with fiber that is from animals other than sheep. And what I'm holding here, I'm holding a cat that's trying. Come here, kitty cat. It's Paris. She's sneezing. I think she's allergic to all this animal fiber. Hey, so this is 75% wool, but it's 25% possum. Are you allergic to possum, Paris? Huh? We can't have that. And I've got a few skeins of this. I wouldn't say it's a DK weight yarn. I haven't decided what I'm going to make with this yet, but it's really soft. I don't know if that'll help you to get a look at the fiber while I get a look at Paris's rump here. She's very cute. And possum is considered vermin in New Zealand, but the fiber it makes is really soft, and I'm excited to knit with this. Now the hat that I have on is 100% alpaca. So this is a pattern I kind of cobbled it together from a few sources. I found some owls and I found some peries, and this hat is very warm. And the fiber is so soft, feels smooth and soft against your skin. It also, as you know, it's really drapey. So this hat has, it's stretched a little bit. I wonder if it would fit on Paris. I'm not sure. It kind of matches her fur though. But it's so warm, and of course, I suppose I could wear it different ways, right? I could put the brim up a little bit like that and have it be more of a sailor look, and I can wear it down when it's really windy, and then if I add a hood to it. So just the sheer drapiness of the alpaca makes it kind of versatile, right, Pear? I call this her cow patch. She has her own little cow patch on there. This hat was made of yarn that has possum in it. So I got that. I think I got it at Steve & B. Unfortunately, I don't have all the yarns with me that I've knit these things with, but I have a lot. So I'm going to show you quite a number of animal fibers to give you, some fun sensory pleasure there. And I hope you enjoy it. I made these mittens out of Rowan baby alpaca. Now, that I actually have a little skein or two of, and boy, Paris, you're really in an erotic mood tonight. That's nothing unusual. So this is baby alpaca. It's 100% alpaca. Look at that. So this is from Rowan, and I think I got this down in Georgia. Look at that wonderful little halo that it has there. So I can show you the pattern for these mittens. These are the Fiddlehead Mittens, and this is a revised copy of the pattern. The one that I used, I made these several years ago. The pattern that I used apparently had a boo-boo. I didn't find it, but I was kind of new to knitting mittens at the time. In fact, this actually, no, you can't eat the yarn, Paris. No, this is the only pair of mittens that I've ever knit. The pattern is beautiful. As you can see here, it's being knit with a variegated yarn that looks like it's self-striping, but I chose to knit it in these succulent colors. I love deep pink. These colors, they just really send me. It's funny because I have very masculine taste in the style of my clothes, but I have feminine taste in the colors, and so I make my own shirts. At some point I'll do a video about those, and it's like a men's shirt pattern, but the fabrics really reveal my feminine side and my love of color. But these are lined, and that's one of the things I really love about this pattern, because here in South Dakota it can get awfully cold, so having lined mittens is a wonder. Now, the next time I knit mittens, I'm going to knit the cuff longer so that it really goes up under my coat. But I think, considering it was one of my earliest colorwork patterns and the first and only ever pair of mittens that I've made, they turn out wonderful. And the alpaca is just, especially these two layers, it's just fantastic. I highly recommend this Rowan, the baby alpaca. Really, really wonderful yarn. Let's see what else I have here. I brought some yarn samples as well. This yarn, I actually won this at a silent auction. And this was spun up in North Dakota from Dakota Spun, and it is 60% camel, 40% alpaca. It's a DK weight yarn. There's the label, Dakota Spun. Up in, I'm trying to remember, it's in a teeny tiny little town. So it's called Dakota Fiber Mill, and just look at that. I have not made anything with this yarn yet. I am excited. I have some camel that, as you would know, I'm also carding that I plan to spin. So that's another fun non-sheep animal fiber that I am looking forward to working with. I thought I would show off this. This is the only cable project I've done so far. It's a reversible scarf, and the pattern for this is totally on YouTube. I found it on YouTube, so I don't really have a pattern that I can show you. Similar with this hat, I just kind of cobbled it together from a few different sources, but this is just a perfect to wear under like a pea coat or something like that. I tend to wear it under a hoodie, and unfortunately I lost the label to this yarn, but it's a Noro cashmere blend, and I think it's about half cashmere, I'm not sure, but it's extraordinarily soft. It's just so fun to knit with. It was just a sheer pleasure. All these different colors kind of passing by, and in this self-striping kind of rhythm. It was really cool to see the colors shift and change, and then you keep going and going, and then all of a sudden it's back, and you're back to the blue again, and you get into this black, and then you hit the mint again. I almost could have kept going with this, but I just found this on a YouTube video. I'll try to find it, see if I can link it up, see if it's still there. But it is a reversible cable pattern knit with primarily cashmere yarn. A beautiful thing. I have a hat. I think I've worn this in a video before. This hat is made of Angora. And the pattern, again, I sort of cobbled it together from different sources. I found the cats in one place, and I found the border in another place. Heck, I might have invented it. And I'm sure I did this shaping, and I kind of made up the lace pattern at the top, but it's really pretty. This has to have been an acid dye. The vibrancy of the colors is fantastic. I got this yarn the first time it was at the Red River Valley Fiber Fair in Fargo, North Dakota, one August. This is probably 2-3 years ago. Here is the yarn. Unfortunately, I lost the labels, but it was one of those sort of local dyers. They just go to shows, and for all I know, the label was just a little tag. It wasn't like a special Noro label or something like that. But this is Angora rabbit yarn, and extraordinary to knit with. Again, you can see the halo and the vibrancy of the colors. Just so much fun, and just a nice change from wool. You know, I adore wool. I knit with wool all the time, but I love to experience different things in my hands, and to get to know, you know, all of the animals that produce fiber for humans, and they have a lot of history behind them. I'm trying to extract this project here without getting it off the needles. I really should use the tips, but this is unfinished. My son, if he watches this video, he'll probably be a little peeved at me, but because he gave me some of this yarn. It's gonna be like a kind of a lizard. I didn't grab the pattern, but I found some cowl patterns that have different animal motifs. It's a little bit challenging to show you the image, partly because it's not finished. I think it's going to be a frog. So I work on this like every few months. I'll get this out and I'll make some progress. But let me just tell you really quickly about the yarn. So I have these two mauve and lilac colors, and these are yak. Yak, not too hard to find. I'll be honest, I got this from Amazon. I wanted to try yak, and I found this, and I think it's from China. I'm really happy with it. It's obviously a fingering weight yarn. It's presumably, I'm not an expert, but really, really warm, really thermal. Some people have a very high opinion of yak that it's even more thermal than wool. And get a load of this. Anybody want to guess what this is? This, my friends, is qiviut. My very generous son, who is among the best gift givers, I like to think that he inherited that talent from my now deceased brother, sadly, but he got me this qiviut yarn, and so I had to incorporate it into this cowl. So this is going to be one, when this cowl is done, it's going to be one luxurious cowl. And I'm not too far. I should be able to finish it and wear this winter. It is such a rare pleasure to knit with qiviut. Obviously, it's not an everyday yarn. It's not affordable. Even yak isn't very affordable, but it's a treat, and I think we all deserve a treat. From time to time, life can be hard, and knitting is such a wonderful distraction from the challenges that often come our way from life. And I have a few more yarns that I thought I would share. Here's another one. This is like a blown kind of yarn, and it is 20% alpaca. It's called Plump DK from Mrs. Moon. So that is that yarn. Picked this up at Stephen B a couple years back thinking I'm gonna make a hat, which I will. So the rest of it is merino mixed with alpaca. And since it's blown, it's obviously sort of a single ply. Beautiful halo, beautiful texture, beautifully plump. I would build this as kind of a worsted weight. I think I can probably get away with doing maybe 80 stitches, around maybe 70. Needle size, it says 4 millimeters. I always forget what that is in American, but I can look it up. But I'm excited to knit with this. Here we have, this is from Quirky Fiber Works. I'm not even sure where I got this. Let me see if it doesn't even say on the label. But the fiber artist who made it is from St. Cloud, Minnesota. And she's on Facebook. So you should look her up. See if she is still in business. Tamara Radke. I'm guessing she is if she makes yarn like this, because this, my friends, is 50% yak, 50% silk, a 4-ply sport weight. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That is just spectacular. Not sure what I'm going to make with it, but I have a lot of options. I have some other really nice fingering weight yarn. I could use it with alpaca, so I'm going to figure something out. I couldn't resist that. 25 bucks. I think that's kind of a bargain, to be honest. And I have some more alpaca and some more possum. Let's see what else I have here. I have a couple more that are sort of unique. I found these skeins of yarn in Helena, Montana. This is Mirasol, and this is Llama. So take a look at that. It's a beautiful blue and green, and I have a black. I thought I could easily conjure up a colorwork hat or scarf, you know, an accessory cowl with the green, black, and the blue. That would be just really stunning. So this wool is from South America. See if I can tell you where it's from. It's a DK. I'm not finding the origin, but I want to say it. Yeah, Peru. There it is. Spun in Peru for Euro yarn. So there it is right there. Spun in Peru. And as I said, I purchased this at in a sort of quirky little yarn store in the back of a pedestrian zone in Helena, Montana. An elderly gentleman who was very kind and very knowledgeable sold that yarn to me. And as long as we're on silk, because that to me is also an animal fiber, since it's silkworms, I have this recycled. This is 60% wool, 40% recycled silk. I have not knit anything with this. I did ball it up thinking I'm gonna do something. I don't know. Would it go with the yak? Is that crazy? What do you think? Let me know if you think there's any prospect for doing some kind of striping or having like the brim of the hat with the silk and then a featured central area with the yak silk. I don't know, maybe. Sometimes you got to think outside the box, because I sure don't need to buy new yarn in order to use up the old yarn. I've got a lot of old yarn. I bought this at Stephen B a few years back. And this is from Tibet. I like knowing that I have yarns from so many different places. And the silk here is recycled. I've heard that they take old saris or something like that and they shred them up and they convert the fiber into balls of very fascinating and colorful yarn. So that's what I thought I would talk about today. Something soft, something comforting. And now I have lots of projects that I got to think about. If you have any ideas, let me know. I usually, you know, when I have these sort of specimen balls, I like to go for an accessory. What do you think, Paris? Maybe you have an idea. She could help me figure out what to knit. I could knit her a little cat sweater. That'd be nice, wouldn't it, baby? So I might knit more cowls, more hats, more. I haven't knit very many mittens or scarves, or I could knit an accessory for one of my kids. and I've got some thinking to do, and I'm looking forward to doing it. I hope you all have a delightful evening, and we'll talk again soon. Ciao.